Yes, please.
Good afternoon. Do you believe that there's a common denominator between your production and the one of the other Israeli writers? In other words, do you think there are peculiar traits on the Israeli literature that can define its specificity? And if this is the case, which are those?
Well, among my contemporary Israeli writers, I will mention A.B. Yehoshua, David Grossman, Yehoshua Knaz, and Meir Shalev as writers who are close to me. They are personal friends, I know them very well, I like their works, and yes, I think there is a certain common denominator which has to do first with the language. We all work within the Hebrew language, which means we all play the same musical instrument. A language is a musical instrument. Every language is a musical instrument. But every language is a different musical instrument. Now those Israeli colleagues whose names I have just mentioned, they work with the same instrument. We have similar problems. Hebrew is an ancient language, but also a very modern language. Very, very old, but recently revived. Imagine Latin coming back to life and becoming a spoken language again and increasing greatly, but still it's Latin. This is very much what happened to Hebrew. Hebrew was as dormant, as dead, as Latin, and it came back to life. And it became a very vivacious language. This is a great challenge, it's a great pleasure to work in such a language, but also many, many problems. This I have in common with Yehoshua, Grossman, and the other Israeli writers. But also the fact that almost all of us work in a troubled country, in a tortured society, in the middle of war, violence, suffering, and injustice. And this feeds our works, all our works, in different ways. The impact of the Israeli-Arab conflict on the works of David Grossman is different than the impact on Yehoshua or the impact on myself. But nonetheless, it's the same impact. Different results, but the same impact. Also, the fact that we happen to share very similar politics. A.B. Yehoshua, David Grossman, Meir Shalev, Yehoshua Knaz, and myself, all of us are members or sympathizers of the Israeli peace movement. So very often we sign the same petitions or we take part in the same peace efforts and enterprises. This is part of what we have in common, but the most important thing we have in common is a deep and genuine friendship. Those fellow writers are also my dear personal friends for many, many years.